Hey, it's me, Gazbot, and here's a CollectionDX review for you!
Hey, what's up everybody? This is Gazbot with another review for CDX. Today we're looking at the SH Figuarts Chojin Sentai Jetman Black Condor. As you can see, the packaging is the standard SH Figuarts with the windowed front. On the back we have images of the figure in iconic poses that showcase the different accessories and hands and whatnot. Once we open it up, here's the tray with everything it comes with. Let's go ahead and take a look in video. So right out of the package, he's very sharp looking. The black and the white with the yellow piping is nice. And I like that he is a black, I'm going to say Ranger, but I guess I'll call him Ranger for lack of a better term, even though there was no Power Ranger counterpart for Jetman, which is what he is from. And this was actually the series right before Kiryu Sentai Zyuranger, which becomes Mighty Morphin. Jetman was, the full name of which is Chojin Sentai Jetman, was almost Power Rangers, basically. Just barely missed out. But as I said, I was happy. They have a red one, which is, I want to say Eagle. Full disclosure, I've never watched this series, although I would like to. But I wanted to get the figure because I thought he was cool. Kind of reminds me of the Silverhawks. He has wings, which I don't have attached now. But also, I like that he's not a red. You know, as much as the reds are cool and everything like that, every series, or many series anyway, seem to be represented by red as the leader. So if there's an opportunity to get a non-red at a reasonable price, I'm likely to jump on it, just for variation of color on my shelf, if nothing else. One of the things I noticed, though, is this arm is slightly loose. I haven't even posed him at all yet. Now, it's not, if I shake it, it's not all over the place, but this arm is tighter, so it's weird to me that, you know, and he's new, he's not used or anything, but, yeah, so let's go ahead and look at a turnaround. There's the front. You could tell because of his face. And on the side, he's thinner this way. And from the rear, or the back end. So, Black Condor has the standard articulation that the SH Figuarts have nowadays. The Ultra Act and the Ranger figures, all, Sailor Moon as well, I imagine, all seem to have the same basic joints, which are very good, the double-jointed knees and double-jointed elbows. The only thing that I always complain about is the bicep swivel, although this one actually swivels pretty nice. Yeah, that's not bad. I always think there should be one here, sort of like a G.I. Joe, but this one actually rotates better than others I've seen. So I don't know if it's just the way he's built. I guess because there's a cuff in here for the shoulder, which most of them have, but because of his shoulder pads, you don't see it moving as much, so it kind of gives a better illusion of movement. So the thing I normally complain about is not as big of a deal on this particular figure. His helmet's nice and shiny. He's got it's odd because he's very retro and he's very, you know, late 80s, early 90s design, but he's almost 70s, but he's also almost modern. You know what I mean? Like I'm going to use the word timeless, which many won't agree with me on, but, you know, he's pretty sharp. So let's go ahead and check out him with his wings on. Get his wings on, I thought I would just pop them on. Here's the wings. But they have pegs in the back, and no holes. So you actually have to pull the back panel off. It's removable, just like the hands and stuff are. So you pull his whole back off, which seems extreme, but I really appreciate that, because that way you're not stuck with a figure with peg holes in the back, and it's going to stay on a lot tighter once you get it on. Like so. So it's not just two little wings slotted in the side, which is kind of what I thought it was going to be. Put his arms up. Look at that. Oh, man. That's pretty great. I'm tempted to put it with my Silverhawk figures because they have a similar wing thing like that, but that's awesome. Now, and my only experience with the Jetman characters are of Red, and he was in Akiba Ranger as sort of a guest star. They had the suit actor, and then Akiba Red got the power briefly. So, but I enjoyed it, and I always thought it was a cool suit design. And like I said, I'll watch it eventually. Hey, I don't need to justify my toy purchases to you. Although I do need to justify it to myself. And both with the Sentai figures, which I'm beginning to collect more and more, and the Ultra Act figures, for a long time I would try to not get ones that I hadn't seen the show of, but both of them have such long histories. Ultraman's 50 years, Sentai's, 40 years, something like that. Even if I make an effort to watch all of them, it will take me forever. And if I don't let myself buy toys in the meantime, well, then I won't have enough toys. All right, let's take a look at some of this guy's accessories as we move on to the next section. Cha-cha! He comes with two holsters, which are not connected, and you have to peg them into his belt, which I don't know why they did that. I mean, I guess arguably for other range of motion, or I don't know, maybe there's a mode in the show where he doesn't have them, but it seems like the kind of thing you'd want connected permanently, because, you know, they can come off pretty easily when you're posing them around. And I know it's not a kid's toy, but still, like right now, I just popped it off to show you, and it's like, I gotta get back in the hole. Oh my gosh, I was kidding at first, but but now I'm not. Come on, buddy, get that little peg right in there. Ah, yeah. Now, when I did it up close to my eyes and my face, it was a lot easier. But generally, if it's on your shelf, you're not going to put it up that close. But he comes with the big one and the little one, and we'll find out what accessories go in there right now. Big one, and I haven't watched the show, but it looks like from my katakana, this is called a battle blaster, if I'm reading the Japanese instructions correctly. So we got that right in there. And it's pretty large, larger than the gun that comes with the Zyu Ranger / Power Ranger figures, also larger than the one that comes with the Aka Ranger from Go Rangers. And then in his smaller one is this little guy, which kind of looks like a fan. It's got really great detailing. Let me see if I can get it to focus here. See the paint of the little wings? It's so tiny. It's really impressive. This guy is really impressing me. It's so weird because I don't know his character. I've never seen the show, but he's already on track to be one of my favorite Ranger figures, or Sentai figures, as the case may be. And this little thing that kind of looks like a fan, it looks like it's Buringan. I could have researched this, but instead I will mispronounce whatever it's trying to say. Buringan. I don't know, that's probably wrong. Some kind of gun. He does come with other accessories, however, so let's take a look at this. Pew! This is the same battle gun. What did I call it? I don't know, the gun. But, as you can see, he has a special hand with a trigger finger. Like most or all of the SH Figuarts, he comes with a plethora of hands in different poses. But what's neat is, on his gun, he also comes with this option part, as they call it, is an alternate mode of the gun. It's the same gun with this flip out. And first I thought it was like a power-up mode or whatever, but if you look closely, this is the other weapon incorporated. So again, making assumptions having not watched the show, the other weapon and the gun form together to create like a super blaster, which is cool that it has that. And if you'll notice, I took the other weapon out of the holster for continuity. I also put another hand on him just to, hey, I'm pointing, get off my lawn, my crooked fingers. But meanwhile, that little handle thing, is it really just to combine with the blaster? Is that all it does? No. It unfolds to be this sword. You can see it's the handle and those parts, and it must flip up, and the sword springs out in some magical Sentai way. I also switched his hand again to, you know, just show that. This guy's pretty great. He costs a little bit more than the standard price point. I think he retails for about $44, and a lot of the others are more in the $30, $35 range. But he does seem to come with more accessories, especially the wings, 2 versions of the gun, the sword, and he has another accessory, which I have yet to even show you, which kind of helps justify his cost. Also, he's radical. The other accessory, as you can see, it's the type where the hand is built in. And again, the detailing is just fantastic. The paint apps are amazing and not flawed in the slightest, even at this close range. Can you see that? I mean, look how small that is. That's amazing. And it connects into, see, the peg, so you connect it into his fist. I don't know what this is for. It's called a something gauntlet, but it kind of has a power glove look to it, which, again, I think is awesome. I almost want to say this is like the controls for his flying in jet mode, but the pictures I see have him without this on in the flying mode. I'm sorry I keep losing focus. I'm trying a new setup here. But, yeah, this is a pretty sweet little gizmo. Oops, I guess I didn't snap that in as much as I needed to. That is user error, not fault of the product. Because I'm probably not going to leave it. Well, I don't know, maybe I will leave it on. I kind of like it. Although I like the idea of posing him with his wings and his sword drawn, like swooping down to stab people with a gigantic sword that's half his height. Alright, there's one other little thing here. Okay, the extra part, I didn't know what it was for, and I was just going to show it to you. It's this little crossbeam V thing. And I was looking at the instructions, and actually you pull out this red part, and then, which is crazy that you could even remove that, and then you could replace it with this open part. Again, I'm sure this has something to do with the show. Wow, that's even cooler. It looks like he launches some kind of birdarang or something. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. It's even better that way. very, like, again, I know he was like late 80s, early 90s, but this makes me feel like more like 70s, 80s. And it's really pressing all the right nostalgia buttons for me in the sense that I've never seen this show, I've never owned this figure, but it makes me feel nostalgic for something that I would have loved had I seen it back in the day. And I'm even digging this pose that I put him in kind of coincidentally. Also, look at the piping on his gloves. It's got like a neat little pattern. Like on the outside, it just sort of looks regular, but then inside it's got this little extra something. For what? I don't know. Look at his belt. I have very little bad to say about this guy. So detailed. It is honestly, if all the other figures were a few bucks more and had this level of detail and accessory, I'm not a big fan of this circle on his butt. I don't know if that's a design choice for the figure or if that was a design in the character. This little poop hole. But yeah, if all the figures were of this quality, I wouldn't mind paying a couple extra bucks each. But also, I have to be honest, probably a lot of it is from the actual character as opposed to the toy design. You know, they had a good design to work with and good accessories to work with. I think that's all the accessories. So, and he is in the, like, sort of between 5 and 6 inch scale. Like all the other SH Figuarts figures, you know, he's about the scale with Ultra Act figures and other Sentai figures. The newer ones, like Sun Vulcan and Aka Ranger, are a hair taller, which is very frustrating for those of us that care about scale. But I'll go ahead and put a couple other figures next to him so you can get a sense of his size. You can see him next to Aka Ranger from Go Ranger, and you can see he's a little bit taller. He's also a little thicker, and maybe the idea with these is to make them look a little more realistic, like they'd look in the suits or something. And I do love this figure, but you could see it looks like either they're from a different series, which they're not, or that this guy is supposed to be like a beefier, tankier guy, which I don't think he's supposed to be. Here is Kiryu Pink, or, well, more accurately, this is Dino Charge Pink. This is the American figure, which is the normal off-the-shelf, what company makes these? I don't even remember. Bandai America, right. Like everything. They're much shorter, less detailed. And here's Gokai Silver, or Super Mega Force Silver, which is the one that's the most correctly in scale because he came out, I don't know if it was before or after, but before they made the change to this type of figure. And in case you're unfamiliar with any of these figures or any of this scale, I'm just going to go ahead and put a ruler right behind him. And you can see he is, you know, around 5.5 inches tall, maybe a little bit less than that. But that just gives you an idea of the scale. And here comes the gallery of photos. Here we see Black Condor posing with his gauntlet, menacingly brandished. And here comes the blade! Yes, that's right, he holds it in his hand like a man on fire. Up next, pointing his bird blaster. And underneath him, the mirror image evil self plotting. Ha! He turns to see and misses! That's because you can never truly confront your evil self while standing on it. As you can see, he continues fruitlessly looking. Anyway, yeah, these are just a couple pictures I took. I was trying a new setup with a mirror underneath that I saw my wife Q used on a Sailor Moon review, and she saw somebody else do it on CollectionDX, who I now forget. I think it was for the Aka Ranger review. But anyway, we're all big fans of it here, and I deliberately let the light hit it in kind of a incorrect fashion. Like, instead of having neutral lighting, I let it bounce off it because I thought it gave it kind of a dynamic effect. If I could have got a little bit of Vaseline to put on the lens to complete the sort of 70s, 80s vibe, I would have. But this is just showcasing the figure without my fumbling hands in the way, so you can kind of see the posability and the detail. And the crests, you know, and again, a lot of the credit goes to the people who designed it in the show and stuff, but I liked the way the helmet matches the chest, matches the belt, you know, everything kind of pulls together really nicely. It seems very thematic, unlike some other Sentai, which are a little bit scattershot. This one really seems to make sense. I've heard some people make fun of the underwear or the panty lines or whatever, but I also dig that. And maybe that's just because every now and then I daydream about cosplaying as a Sentai, and if I did this guy, the belt would help me hide my gut a little bit more if it was a two-piece than, you know, like a Jungle Fury or something that doesn't even have a belt. But I also think it breaks it up. If it was just white pants, it would look weird, and if it was that sort of thong middle thing, that would look weird. So I don't have a problem with that choice. Maybe it's just because I have an old-fashioned sensibility when it comes to that kind of stuff. So overall, this figure is amazing. He's a couple bucks more than the average SH Figuarts or Ultra Act in this line. But if you're already collecting these figures, you're buying expensive toys anyway, so a couple extra bucks for a superior quality figure, as far as design and accessories, I think is worth it.
I was originally going to display him with his sword, but there are other figures that have swords, and this gauntlet thing is a little bit more unique. So the pose you see him in now is probably going to be pretty close to what he does on my shelf. I also like the fact that since he's a flying character, I could put him above my other characters, thereby saving space and fitting more things on the shelf. Now to get him on this stand, which isn't the stand I'm going to keep him on, but all the stands have a sort of grip on the back around the waist is sort of the average way to grab him. I did actually have to remove his holsters for his gun and his sword thing. So I don't know if I'll be able to figure out a way to keep them on, which I'd like to, but perhaps that's why they're removable, so that you could have them in the flying position, which is a little bit misleading, though, because if you look at the box, he's in the flying position with his feet in a position where he couldn't be standing, and yet he still has his holsters. Now, obviously, somebody could be holding them, they could have photoshopped it out, but regardless, that is a very minor complaint to an otherwise superior figure, and I highly recommend the Chojin Sentai Jetman Black Condor. Probably one of my favorite, if not my favorite, Sentai figures in terms of the toy, if not the character.
So I hope you enjoyed that. I certainly did. I recommend the figure very much so. And I was thinking about getting the Red Hawk figure, even though I went on about how I don't want all reds and stuff, but I do like these designs, and as I've been watching the second season of Akiba Ranger, it's got me back in the mind of wanting to get him in the first edition because he comes with the wing feature that goes to Akiba Red. So anyway, that's it for me. I've been Gazbot. You can check out other reviews I've done on the site here. I have my own channel where I do art reviews and occasional toy on YouTube. And see you later from Gazbot and CollectionDX.